Yes, friends and neighbors, this is an Ultrasabers video. Now, I know that quite a few of you out there don't really hold the company in pretty high regard, but before you break out the torches and the pitchforks, let me explain what I'm up to, alright? These are, of course, the Lost Grey and the Fulcrum, inspired by Ahsoka, Tano's hilts in the Clone Wars TV show. It's been a couple of years since I unboxed these and did the review, and sometimes it's not a bad thing to revisit stuff like this, and once the newness wears off and the hype kind of dies down, to see if they hold up compared to what opinions might have been back then. And, well, I figured now that Disney's Ahsoka series is well underway, I figured this was a good time to revisit these and see if everything holds up. Alright? So stick around, let's find out. So one thing I want to mention right off the bat is before recording this, I have not gone back to watch the unboxing video or the review that I did a couple of years ago, because I wanted this to be with a fresh set of eyes. It's 2 years later, a little over 2 years later. You know, I didn't want to taint this review. So you might have noticed that I said these were inspired by Ahsoka's hilts in the Clone Wars show. Not exact replicas. It's one thing about Ultrasabers, and to be fair, some other companies, is that a lot of the canon hilts that they come out with are more inspired by the canon hilts and not, you know, perfect replicas. We'll start off with the Lost Grey. Give you a look-see at it. Now, one thing I want to mention right off the bat, in the show, Ahsoka uses both hilts for dual wielding, one in each hand. And this is, from the show, it's her Shoto hilt, the shorter hilt of the two with a shorter blade. Not really that short. As a matter of fact, just to show you, no, I am not comparing an Ultrasaber hilt to a Revan Saber's hilt, as far as quality or anything else. I am only presenting a Revan Saber's hilt for the size comparison. I may be nuts, I'm not crazy. This is, of course, my son's Shoto hilt from Revan Sabers, and I'm only showing for a comparison. Yeah. This is meant to be the Shoto hilt of the two. Not quite Shoto size. Alright. So there's one knock against it. But on its own merits, it's not. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, all right? I know it's not screen accurate, and, you know, we all know the electronics, Obsidian board, yada yada, best board in the market. It's not, newsflash. But if you take the hilt itself on its own merits, I also don't think it's that bad. Okay, design-wise. It's not spin-friendly, to be quite honest. See, some hilts are better for spinning, others for swinging. Alright, I consider that two different things. To swing this thing, you can get a good two-hand grip, and you can definitely spar with this. Okay? I mean, seriously. Like I said, spinning, not really meant for that, but you can definitely duel with this one. Alright, one thing I will say about Ultrasabers hilts, again, leave the electronics aside, but the hilts themselves, they're pretty good construction for their durability. You can definitely duel with these things. the Covertech wheel is far enough down. You can get your hand away from that so it's not in the way. This little button here is low enough to the saber that it's not in the way. And you can kind of hold it like this and keep your thumb free to turn it on and off, So, as a Shoto saber, no. Taking on its own merits, I really don't think it's that bad. Now, the Lost Gray, as I said, is meant to be the Shoto saber, which means that the Fulcrum is meant to be the larger saber. And on that note, yeah, they got it right. The Fulcrum is bigger than the Lost Gray. But to remember that these are meant to be dual wielded, kind of like this. Not really comfortable for dual wielding. I mean, if you're Andre the Giant, maybe, maybe then you can get away with it, but I don't see you swinging both of these at once. I'm going to be honest with you on that. But let me give you a look at the Fulcrum here. As you can see, the design is different. Even on its own, I don't really see how you can one-hand this. Never mind trying to do one in each hand. Even this one on its own, at least the Lost Gray, you can get in one hand. Maybe swing it around with a little bit of effort. You're going to feel it in your wrist. Trying to one-hand this saber, no. I do not see you doing that. And this saber definitely is not spin-friendly. Okay? At least with the Lost Gray, it doesn't have those little prongs on the top near the emitter like the Fulcrum does. There's no comfortable choke point. To swing the saber around, not bad. We got a little bit more going on in the hilt for this one than we did the Lost Gray. The Covertech is back here. There's actually two Covertech wheels here. I can't quite figure that out. The control box. Control box sticks up a little bit, but that's not bad because I think that gives you something to put in the groove of your palm, between your finger and your thumb. You can just nestle the control box in there, and that kind of frees your thumb up to toggle the switch. So that's not bad. But then you have another little button up here, which, talking about this one right here, which you've got to try to finagle your other hand around. And that takes a little bit of effort. But once you get it, once you get used to the feel of it, again, for a swinging saber, yeah, you can duel with this one, okay? Again, it's sturdy enough. I mean, leave the electronics aside. The hilt itself is pretty solid. So, but I do have these configured for sound, by the way. I just have the sound on mute, as if you couldn't tell. So, all in all, not too bad. Like I said, there's a couple of design choices. Like I wouldn't have had this up here. This button isn't too bad. That one is a little cumbersome and takes a little getting used to. Alright. But you can get used to it. So, the bottom line, should you buy these? That's the big question. Now, I'm not going to get into, is Ultrasabers worth it as a company? I mean, I figure if you're watching this video, most of you watching this, you probably know enough about Ultrasabers anyways. So, probably enough to have made up your mind whether or not you're going to deal with them. So I'm not going to, go that route. But as far as these hilts, should you pick these up? That is the big question. I would say only if you are looking for these exact hilts. Okay? If you are looking for the Clone Wars hilts that are more screen accurate, don't go with Ultrasabers. Alright? Don't. Go with a different company. Go with an LGT seller or Nexus or whatever they call themselves. Saberforge has these, and they look from the website, they look a little bit more accurate. If you're looking for screen accuracy, go with somebody else. Okay? If you are looking for these exact hilts, then maybe think about it. But if you want my recommendation, what I would do is buy the hilts empty and send them off to your favorite installer to get the board that you want. Or, if you're an installer yourself, do the honors yourself. Okay? Don't bother going with the Obsidian. And I did get these in the Obsidian. Alright? I have no regrets. Don't get me wrong. But, for anyone else, I would say buy them empty, get them installed with someone else. Or, if you want them installed, get them as a stunt saber. I'm going to leave a couple of thumbnail links at the end of this video for the original review and the unboxing that I did for these. And when you're done watching this, I invite you to check those out as a comparison to see what I thought of these back then. And while you're at it, check out some more of my videos if you're new to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Alright, it helps me out. The more the channel grows, the more I can do. And that's going to do it. Alright, I thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment, leave your thoughts. Love hearing from you guys. And until the next video, as always, please be good, be well, be safe, and be happy.